Hold your breath. Make a wish. Count to 3. Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation.
Hi guys, it's me, Sue Ervin again, and we're ready to do painting, the finished painting class number 3 on the poinsettia, the Christmas poinsettia. We're going to finish this up today. As you can see, we've done the background and we're now working on the petals. If you recall the last class, we kind of stopped at the middle of the petals, and we're going to go back and finish them all up and then work on the inside little bumpy parts of the, I don't know the specific name of petals and things anymore, but the center of this poinsettia. So I'm going to start by just kind of finishing off these leaves. As you can see, this one looks like one big leaf there, and this is another leaf down here. And this I put together last time as one because I had too much green showing there. So we're going to finish all those, add a little detail, and if we have time, we'll put a few water droplets on these. So those of you who have not learned to do water droplets can learn how to do it. And if you can put as many or as little as you want on there. And okay, I'm going to finish this and move on to my leaves, so my petals. So I'm just kind of finishing the rough edges of this particular one. And then I'll move to another petal here in a minute. There, that's probably good. This right here could do a little something shaded. I'm trying to keep the show. You need to put contrast in the leaves. What's on top, think of what's laying on top of the other. The shading under here, because this leaves over on top of this one, it's brighter up here. Think in terms of that when you're laying it out or when you're painting the petals, because that's what makes it pop out. By putting it darker there makes this come out more. And if you don't put the shading, you have what we call a very flat painting. You just don't have the movement's just not there. And you want it to look like it's really soft and folded, not stiff and all that. So you want it to, that's all because you put the shading where it should be, or just think in terms of where the light's coming or what's laying over on top of the other one or anything like that. Like it would be darker under here, of course, because this guy's over the top of this. And you have to kind of keep that in mind when you're painting it. And we'll add a little lighter up here, just a little bit along the edge. Sometimes just a little highlight like that, a little bit of lightness. You don't think you're seeing it, but you really are. It's making a difference. I might make that a little bit darker. Back here. There. Get a little darker back in there. Smooth it out. There. Because you want it to blend together, like I said, so the lights and darks kind of meld in together. This is the vein of the I want to make it a little bit lighter. Putting the brush on the tip and very lightly touch the canvas, but very lightly. I want to come a little bit lighter. That brush has got a lot of too gunky. So I'll clean it off a little bit. Don't forget to spritz your brush, your palette with water using the mister that you have, the spray mister I showed you. I'll show you again in a minute. Gotta put paint on your brush, Sue. Trying to scrub that in. If you hear that noise, it sounds, I'm just trying to scrub it into the canvas. It's not, sometimes you have to do that to get it blending well. There. Now it's working. Now we're going to cover this that we painted over. Made a nice big leaf. You do. I'm not used to using, I'm used to using both hands on here. It's so hard for me to do it with just one hand sometimes. But I know I'll block the picture. But it's coming together. This will make a pretty present for somebody. I want to show you how to do the sides too, so you make sure you do them. Which we'll do before we're finished. And if you haven't caught up with me, you can stop me. And this is the one time you can control when I talk and when I don't. And you can turn me off and catch up with me. Some people would like that. There. It's a little bit darker down there. Looks like it's turned up a little bit. Then we'll move on to this guy. He looks like he could use a little help. Using the mid color red, not the darkest, but not the lightest one. And I'll keep the brush dirty and put some of this lighter shade on it. Go around the edges here of this one. I'm going to do the center. I'm dipping it in the darker color, putting it on top, not flat, just the very tip of the brush, and let it follow it up there. I need a little more on the brush. Getting it on the tip of the brush. Try again. There. This one has a little of the lighter, but I'm going to add just a little bit of the darker. Same as here. And here. And this one I think I'll just paint a little darker. And this probably should have one. He's coming from I don't know where. Okay, let's see what else we could do. I'm going to put this brush aside and take the script brush. Again, that's a long-haired fellow like that. And I'm going to go ahead and back to the green, and any spots I see that need little loving care there, like this right here is a little thin looking. I'll go ahead and fill it in. Or if you feel like you need to add the shape of another leaf or something, you know, like a little curve there, or something like that. I'm going to get all the spots that don't look like they should have white coming through. And some could just be the highlights of the edge of the behind, underneath there could be light coming up, I suppose. I think the light's more or less overhead on this one. Pretty flat lighting. Now I'm going to get my little brush again. I'll take a clean one so I can keep cleaning them off and thin that out a little bit. It's a little small flat I picked up. Stick it in the green again. You don't want to mess up any of your lines that you like, so don't keep struggling with it. All I'm trying to do is fill in the lighter shades that look like they were thin on the paint. But I'm not trying to change the look of the leaves or anything like that because I kind of like how it looks. So I'm just going to leave it. But and you can fiddle too much with it. You want the background to look good, but you don't need to overwork it and overthink it because it doesn't matter what direction they go or anything like that. This is just the illusion of the leaves underneath. That just looked a little light to me. So we're going to kind of straighten it out and then I'll lighten it back up again, see? I'll get it a little darker. Maybe I'll put this color in it. There. Okay. Now we'll go back to this. This looks like it could use a little bit more. It's a little flat. This one's a little flat. You know, we don't want them to be all flat looking. This is another one. The bigger ones are harder to get enough contrast. You don't want them to look like they're laying flat on there. You want them to look like they got a little bit of, like I said, movement. So the only way to do that is by contrast. So you clean off my script brush. It's got too much green on it. I'm going to stick it in some of the darker reds. Roll it. And again, I'm just going to let it do its own thing. And get it some, keep it thinned down, because that's how it works better if it's thinned. I'm just going to do the edge here and there, let it skip if it wants to. There. Get it wet again. Dip it in some more red paint this time. And let's see where it needs to have something along the edge. I'll do a little of this creamy color, the off-white color, and go down again the center. Letting it touch where it wants. Just hardly touch it. I'm hardly putting any pressure on that. That's why it's skipping like it is. If I press harder, it'd get nice and fat, and I don't want it to do that. Need to get it wet again. And roll it around so it gets nice and flat. I mean pointed. We'll go ahead and, while this has got stuff on it, let it do its thing. And again, I'm not letting it have any, if I pressed on it, it would be just fat, and you don't want that. I'll show you. See? It just loses its whole thing. I'll wipe it off. And do it again. I'm rolling it in the loose paint, putting it on the tip, and barely letting it touch. Following that darker shade, not quite exact, but pretty close. Trying to stay close to it as I can. There, that's the one we fixed. Here's another one. There. These can be a little bit lighter by just rolling it in the light colors. Pull those little thin stems down into the center. Because we're making the center and we'll want them to go down in there. Yeah. That's a ticket. Let's see, I'm going to do this a little bit. I'm dipping the script into the red colors. And I'm going to put some, the script's got a dirty brush on it. Just letting it follow the thing. Needs to be getting a little dry. Put a little red. I'm still using that script brush, keeping it thin, and I'm following a few lines that I think needs it. Get the lighter where you think it needs that. And this was the one that's looks like it's folded. And let's see, where else? Let me look at this a minute. So, right here's a spot. This looks a little rough. I'm just kind of cleaning up the edges of the different petals that look a little gnarly. And I'm using the script brush. I think I'm going to get this small flat and fix that's kind of rough looking right there. I'm just kind of looking over each petal and seeing if there's anything I can do to improve them. So where was I now? Oh, there. So I'm going to fix this because it's a little rough. So I put the medium toned red. I'm just kind of smoothing that out. I'm rubbing it in. I'm going to go ahead and get the lighter red. There. There we go. It's not quite so rough now. Just didn't look right to me. This guy needs some little bit of loving care on him. I think I'll go back to the big brush, the big angled brush. Dip it in the water because it hasn't been used for a little while. And dip it in the medium red. And kind of give it some, whoops. Give it a little bit of shape to it with adding a little darker here. Now we'll fix that center line. See, I painted over it a little bit. Shouldn't have. Didn't mean to. It's okay. We'll fix it. And then we'll come down here. And we'll get in the dark. I think I'll use the script and stick it in the darker red and roll it. And I'll start up here and barely use the top of it. I've done this several times, it seems like. Just let it go here and there. There we go. Get it wet again. Stick it in the light shade and the creamy color. While the brush is dirty, roll it. There. Now, come along the edge of it if you think it needs it. I didn't have enough paint on it again. Gotta have paint on your brush. There. I'll get back under that part there and use a dark green where I got it off the thing. Right here. Now. There. Let's see. Just fixing a few places that look a little lighter where they should be darker, or straight where it should have a different line to it, or something would look different to me. Okay, up here needs another coat. We'll just use a regular base coat that I had with the dirty brush. So see, it's coming out with a little bit of the dark in it anyway. We're going going to straighten that out by just adding another coat to it. This kind of doesn't have much to say. It's just a plain little petal just hanging there. Now, while all that's drying, I'm going to take this off the easel and do anything wrong for you, and I'm going to show them how I did the edges.
Okay.
So I'm going to take it off while that's drying. Just loosen my, there we go, and turn the edges. I was going to show you, most of you already know this, but if we want to paint the edges, see how they're white, we want to curve it around to match the sides so that it won't have to be framed. So the red would come here, so I'm going to take and pull the red around here on this side. And it doesn't have to be detailed, just pull to the side. And it doesn't look like anybody else is on that side there. So we can take our big brush and some green. You can dip it in a couple colors of green. And just follow the line, the edge there. You might have to end up coming back and adding another coat or a little bit of the cream color or something if you think it needs it. So it'll blend. Get around the corner good. And down these corners. And just keep the brush dirty. Don't worry about it not matching exactly because it won't. You just want to put the reds where the reds are and the greens where the greens are. Or if it's real dark, you might want to add a little darker so it blends better. I'll show you how it looks. So we get it up to the red that we added. There. It's pretty quick. See? That looks like it goes, doesn't it? So we did all the way around. I won't do it all the way around, but let me see if there's one that's got, this has got a lot of red, see? You can see where it comes around, so my brush has already got green on it, so I'll put the green on it. There we go. And then I'll put the red across there, and then we've got two sides done already. And we'll go back to the front of our painting and finish it off. Let's see. We'll put the red on this. That much is done already. See, that quick. There. I got that in the right spot?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, now let's see what we can do here. Well, we'll go ahead and start putting our center in. We'll leave all this be. We can always come back after we get the center in if something kind of is gnawing at us that doesn't look quite right. So we're going to switch to our small round brush. And that's, let me see here, I know I got one, yep. It's just a little brush that's round. Here, I'll get this one, he's easier to see. It's just a little round brush about that big. And we're going to paint little circles in the center there. And we're going to paint them yellow. Yellow isn't going to show up real well, but that's okay, we have to have yellow in it anyway, it'll give us an idea. It's just little bumpies. Green will show through this. That's why I chose the yellow, because it has a yellowish green and tone to it. The little nubs. I don't know what they're called. I should know, but I forget. And we're just making the little. I'm just kind of squiggling them in there. Just using the yellow paint only, and just put them anywhere at random that they're making the center of the poinsettia. It's not perfectly round or anything like that. They're not all the same size. They're just here and there and everywhere. We'll add more as we add to these, because they have to have some things put on them yet. Need to let this dry for a second. And they're just little nubbins. That's a good name. I'm trying to decide if I need to add any more of these little small red petals. I can't decide if I want to put any more in there or not. I don't really think I need any. Maybe one right there while I'm waiting. Right, where did I say? Right here? I think I did. Just a little one. Yeah, that works. It didn't show up real well. I'm going to add a little white to it. Then when it dries, I'll go for another coat. There. That looks pretty good. Now we need to add some dark red in the center of these yellows. Kind of same idea, just kind of bump them around a little bit. Nothing spectacular, they're just kind of bumped in there. I'm using the darker red that we had. Little round brush. Whoops. Kind of clunky there. You can see it's pretty simple. I used another. We'll have to wait till it dries and put some more yellow and some green. We'll take some of the green and add some yellow to it and give it a kind of a greenish yellow. Make it a lighter green to have the yellow tones to it. And we'll put it around these. In the same manner, just kind of bumpy. That still could be lighter, I believe. And if I don't think it's light enough, I'll add some of that cream color. Yeah, that works. Just here and there. Maybe I'll put some cream color too, because it's not quite getting light enough. Just there we go. And we're making this again. They're just different shades of greens and yellows. These, I guess, turn into the flowers eventually. I don't know. I think they do. I think we can make this into pink. Also, put a little pink in it. Pink is just one of the reds with white, as you guys probably already know. We'll put a little pink around that red. Still the same dirty brush and just kind of bouncing it in there. That's all you do. And we'll wipe it off. And I need to put that green around it now. I'll use some of that yellow green. Let's see if it turned out good enough. Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna, even if you put it over the top of some of them, some of the colors, And then we'll go back with yellow, but we'll wait till it dries, just to highlight it. Just leave it as is. I think it has enough in it, as much as that did. Oh, we're waiting for that to dry. A couple of these smaller ones can be brightened up a little bit, I think. Some of these petals have the stems that go in there. So we want to put some of the stems inside, you can see. Just here and there, there's no particular place that you have to put them. Just that it looks like that it is part of the inside of the flower there. I guess that's good enough. Let's see if the yellow will work now. Put a little yellow here and there. Yeah. Just dabbing it in. I guess these are like the seeds. I don't know. Guess I should study flowers more if I'm going to be painting them. Yeah. I'm getting quiet here. I keep working on these and forget to talk to you. Anyway, this is the last part of the flower. We may come back and I don't know what we can. I think it's got all the colors in it that we need to show. Maybe I will put a little more pink in it because it'll brighten it up. That's a little white and any of the reds you choose. And we're going to kind of go over the pink that I put in there. That's what I'm doing. Then I'm going to go over this guy that we put in there and put white on. I think that's good enough. Fixing this edge here. I think I'll fix that edge there and make it a little darker. Right here. There. Okay. Now let's see if there's any place that we want to particularly fix. I think this was it actually was almost a mistake, but it looks like the petal went over the top, and we'll leave it that way. It's kind of cool. Yeah. Let's see, I can't think of anything. I guess I could try. I think this is pretty well finished. I can go ahead and put some water droplets on it if you guys would like to try some water droplets. Let me fix a couple more things yet. I'll take and put a little bit of light right in this. Okay, so we can put a few water droplets on just so you can see how to make the water droplets. We'll start with the same round brush will probably work, and we'll put 3 little circles there. We'll put them shade dark, this is kind of a half moon type thing, I guess. Darker than what's on there. Like here's the one. They're U-shapes, yeah, that's what we'll call them. I'll make them a circle, that's easier for you to see. They don't have to be the same size. They really shouldn't be the same size. Actually, I'm using that medium toned for this particular leaf. I'm using a darker tone here. It's a medium. And it's gotten kind of thick, so I'm going to get a clean brush. Wet the brush and take this color and kind of bring it in from the bottom, but leaving a thin rim. See? Of the dark, leaving a thin rim of the dark, but bringing that in a little. I made this one a circle. You don't have to, but I want you to be able to see better. Okay. Then I'm going to take the white and use a small brush, the tip of it, and just go. I'm going to make sure it's only on the tip. You only want a little bit. And I'm going to go across the top. It looks like it's a lot on that brush. Yeah, it is. It is, it is. I want to clean that brush and start over. I got too thick of a glob. You want it to be thin. And put it just on the tip of the brush. And we'll come right around so it's a little smoother. I'm going to just kind of roll little tiny circles inside this ball, leaving the white up at the top and the lighter shades down at the bottom. I mean the red shades. But in the middle it's kind of lighter. But that highlight is still there. Now, see how that's looking? This right here needs to come across. You don't want it to be the dark all the way around it. What that is kind of a shadow from the bubble, from the air, from the water droplet. That's what that darkness is. And these kind of grow on you after you get them. You may think they don't look so good, and then you walk away and come back and decide, well, they don't look so bad after all. There. I'm going to leave that sit for a second. I wipe the brush down. Keep cleaning the brush off because I want it to stay real neat so that I can make a small mark without it being a big thick glob. Make a little highlight on this bubble. And wipe it off again. And kind of fix it. If it doesn't come out right, this one doesn't suit me. Just smooth it back into the inside the bubble. And then you can add a little more of the red if you need to. And let it dry. And then you can put another little dot on it. Just take it off there if you need it. There. Let those be, and they'll dry and look fine. They'll look just like little bubbles. And you can make another one like a pear shape, like how they drop in little droplets. Let's see. We'll make it down here. Just like a wiggly and a pear shape. I don't know if that's big enough. I don't think it is. There, that's going to be big enough. Look at there. The line went just like I wanted. I want to be big enough for y'all to see it. There. Now, we're cooking. Stuck it back in the white. Rub it around there. I'll go back to the red in a minute. This is a bigger bubble. Just keep rubbing that around till you get some of it off. Then we'll get back in the red and make again. This is just like a shadow on the bubble. And it could be maybe a little thicker right there. I'm going to dip it in the, I keep wiping it off like I said. I want this to be darker, so, and a little fatter right there and then thinner underneath it. Okay, now we'll leave that. Wiping it off, get in the white, and just come down. Oh, it's just kind of thick. Shoot. These bubbles can have a mind of their own, but you got to work at them. They'll come out. We'll let that dry a minute. Thin that off. See, I'm thinning it down, shortening the stem. I'll take the stem off, matter of fact. Put another one on, because I didn't like it. Putting it in a darker red, and putting it like all this little squiggly. There. Now dipping it, I wiped it off again. Again, I'll wipe it off, stick it in the white, and try to make it thin. Come down. There. And make a little line there. I think I'll try to make it go down around this. Whoops. Right around there. And rub it in again. It's not quite like I want it. You gotta work with these things sometimes. These look okay. This one, not so good. Now maybe it will be. I fix that. There. Now I need to try that white again. There. Roll it some more. Well, either have too much or not enough. There. I'll let that dry and see what happens. Let's see what happens to it. I think it's going to work. And again, you have to put a little dark in it again. There. We'll leave that dry. And there you have it. Let's see what else we can do to this baby. Well, I guess we can go back in here and put some red in there. Because that red showed up kind of dark. That'll help it. Won't be so dreary. Looking in the center. There he is. let's see here. I think I'll get my round brush out and highlight these little guys in the, see if I need to make any changes to the center. More of these, or maybe just to highlight the stems. I think it looks pretty good. What's the audience say?
I think it looks good.
I can't think of anything else I need to do you?
No. I love the water drops too.
Well, I put them several places on this painting. I can do the same here.
I think it would be cool to have a drip down to that lower one.
This way?
Yep.
Like coming off?
Yep, or just hitting the next petal down.
I can make one that comes like it's...
Like it dripped off and went to the next
I
petal
don't know if
down.
I can make it, I don't know if I can have it completely here. It's either going to have to be halfway on here. I think I'll do this. Half on this first. We can take it off if we don't like it. So I'll show you how we do that. You take a little green.
This is the parts I like to learn.
And it's going into the green, so it's going to be, say it's halfway here. And we wipe it off. And we're going to put it in the red, which is kind of this red. We'll do this. And we'll say it's going this way. And we'll dip it in the kind of cream color, I think.
Wow, I can see it.
Huh, you can?
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's amazing.
We want this to be a little lighter where it fell off.
That's amazing, Sue.
Well, it's just a matter of thinking of how it looks, you know. What it's on.
It's hot for me.
Bubbles are clear. They're only going to show you whatever color's around it.
Yeah.
You have to think in terms of that.
For me, it's always hard to get that clear look.
Yeah. Whereas all it is a little bit shades lighter, see?
That's amazing.
And then we're going to take white for the red part. We took cream color for the green. Because if you take white with green, you get a mint color. And that wouldn't be the right color. You can put these water droplets anywhere you want on your picture. I need to get that center one. Once we put darker behind it, we'll make it lighter in the bubble. I'm talking about the green. To make those transitions into this. So you want it darker. Then we'll get the smaller brush. See what luck we have with that old white again. Trying to make it into a two-tone bubble here. You have to really be soft touch to this to get it to work. I'm just kind of merely putting it in circle strokes. Now I'm going to take the darker green again. Oops. Take a darker red. So quiet now. The bubbles, we don't want the bubbles to burst.
Yeah. That's amazing.
What's the matter working with me? Is it looking like a bubble?
It is me.
Well, there you have it. Now I'll get that edging done. Ooh. I think when you you leave it alone, it helps. You know, you quit playing with it.
Yeah.
Can't quite get that little hard edge I want. I'm getting there. I'm thinning that down by putting the red back on this side of it. The hair there just went off the brush.
It's giving detail.
Yeah. Says, no, I'm not finished. I won't leave my job.
Gosh, that looks so good.
You probably could take this dark red here and bring it up underneath. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that gives it, yeah. Yeah,
That's probably good enough.
that looks great.
Now, you could also make one that would be thinner.
Man, I love that.
Matter of fact, I think I will pull that around. It would really be like,
Oh, yeah, that makes it even better.
you know, just it didn't look quite right to me.
Yeah, it looks like it's dripping now.
That's what it should look like, I think, don't you?
Yeah. Wow. Oh yeah.
I haven't done one of those in a long time.
Love that.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. I think we can just about sign this, can't we?
Yes, you can.
I did this finished in record time, I think.
Yeah.
Now that we've got everything accomplished, don't forget to finish your sides. I showed you how to do that. What else did I say? I think that's about it. I think I'll fix that. It looks a little rough there. Now's the time to look your painting over and straighten up any edges you think need to be straightened up, or smooth out anything that needs to be smoothed out. Because once you put your name on it, you can't paint on it anymore. That's the rules.
That's the artist rules.
There. So this will be a nice Christmas present for your house or a gift for somebody. It'll be a very nice thing to do. And there you have it. The end. Merry Christmas.